Thank you for spending another midweek moment with the Wisconsin Property Taxpayers. I'm Paul Rozeski. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of February, 2026. Thanks for being here. Before we jump into some headlines, let's take a quick look at the week ahead. First, something cool in Wisconsin. The Port of Green Bay has announced a contest to guess the date and time that the first ship will arrive into the port. The winner will get a prize package, including a one-night hotel stay and dinner for two, along with some Green Bay swag. Search it up if you're curious. Next, we'll set you up for the week ahead. May I suggest observing Pay a Compliment Day on Friday, and just a suggestion, another way to put some good energy into the world while driving on Saturday. Instead of gesturing to the other drivers that they're number one, give them positivity by observing, wave all your fingers at your neighbor's day. Like always, whatever you decide to bring into the world this weekend, please celebrate responsibly. This week, we look at a couple of recent headlines that remind us the more things change, the more things stay the same. Some oldie but goodie topics are back in the spotlight, like marijuana legalization, school funding, and what are the best ways to reinvest tax dollars back into the community. And then we'll wrap it all up with a quote from the founding father, who wasn't just the father of the Constitution, he also insisted on adding the Bill of Rights, but only after a lot of public pressure. Sounds familiar? The more things change, yeah, you get the point. Let's skip the yada 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 and jump into some news together. And first off, in a time-honored tradition, Senate and Assembly Democrats at the Capitol are once again proposing legislation to legalize recreational marijuana. Supporters argue that this will allow Wisconsin to generate revenue, reduce incarceration, and it'll align with what our neighboring states are already doing. Opponents argue that projected revenue is overstated. The price tag to regulate all this stuff is going to be understated. And once the can of worms is open, the policy conversation changes entirely. Whether you think the idea is half-baked or not, pun intended, there's effectively 0% chance this proposal will get any consideration because since last session, the legislature has lost most of its balance of power oversight on the rules that departments can make. So although it's impossible to have less than a 0% chance of something happening, we may have actually found it. In other news, the legislature's Joint Finance Committee took up a long list of bills yesterday, including a heated debate on the scope of Wisconsin's so-called 400-year veto, where property tax levies can go up every year by $325 per student in that school district. During that discussion, opinions, talking points, and numbers were flying everywhere, with each side essentially making the arguments, "Look what you made me do," and "You're the reason property taxes went out of control." So, not looking to rehash the whole thing, but I do need to point out that one lawmaker, as things were flying everywhere, claimed that the legislature gave $0 to schools in the last budget, and that statement matters. This was one of a number of things that were misstated in the back and forth. Now, in that particular one, the truth is that the school general aids saw a $0 increase, not $0 in total funding. The budget actually gives Wisconsin schools over $5 billion in equalization aid every year, and that doesn't even include other categories like the special education funding. It all may sound like a small distinction, but it's a massive difference because even though it's probably an honest mistake, in today's social media echo chambers, those kinds of misstatements get repeated and amplified and weaponized, which pushes people further apart instead of helping them understand what's actually going on and whether or not there's an actual path forward. It's not good, especially when public trust in government and the other side of the aisle is already pretty thin. In other news, let's look at another example of state lawmakers floating competing ideas. This time it's about how to invest in the future of our families and our children. On one side, there's a proposal for baby bonds, where Wisconsin would buy bonds worth $3,000 at maturity for every baby born to a Medicaid-eligible family. Those bonds would mature when the baby turns 18 years old. Another proposal would have the state contribute a $1,000 match to the federal $1,000 that are going into the Trump accounts for every baby that's born between 2025 and 2028. My snap reaction is this: Social Security funds, even if they weren't outright redirected or taken into other programs, have always been invested pretty exclusively in government bonds, and that system is now under serious strain. Meanwhile, the stock market, as imperfect as it is, has historically rewarded long-term investors and helped families build wealth over time at better returns than bonds. Even the low-risk investments that the Trump accounts will be using, while they're also giving families access to an account that they can continue to contribute to over the long haul, that's worth thinking about as policymakers debate which models actually prepare people for the future and make them feel like they have more of a personal stake in the success of our economy, which is another form of patriotism, which is also something that is a net positive for all of us. And finally, I leave you with a quote from the founding father who understood that liberty rarely disappears overnight. It was James Madison who once warned us, quote, "The accumulation of all powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary, in the same hands may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny," unquote. Have a great second half of your weekend. As always, thanks for listening. Wisconsin Property Taxpayers, Inc. is a nonpartisan membership organization consisting of thousands of small business, farm, and homeowner members in every Super Bowl watching corner of the state. Founded in 1985, the organization is committed to providing its members with up-to-date information, legislative advocacy, and exclusive cost-saving benefits. Find out how to join at WPTOnline.org/join.